Anything different with the
How's
ship?
the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to balance isn't what you'd expect.
Yeah, it's the same.
The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot.
I have to go.
Thanks, Joker.
Alright, see ya.
Oh. Dee 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 dee. Opens the door. Caden. He refused to talk to us before, so he'll probably actually let me have a conversation with him this time, hopefully.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Is this an official evaluation, Commander? Or off the record?
Alenko, when it's just you and me, you can consider it off the record.
Cool.
That's a generous attitude. Okay. I think there's something wrong with all this. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction.
Yeah.
Can't get backup from the Council?
Right, that is a little weird.
There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
Yeah.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
They're not humans.
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. Sorry if I got too informed. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock.
Right.
It was brain camp.
Brain time! Woo!
We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element zero. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Yeah.
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics. A little after the discovery of the Martian ruins.
Okay.
It only gets iffy around 63 when Kinetics was running out of first gen.
And that makes sense, because, like, First Contact was in the 30s, and he's definitely in his mid to late 20s.
Next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination chart, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
What's interesting is that before both Ashley and Caden didn't want to talk, and therefore they will both want to talk. And then Rex has a lot of conversations if memory serves, so he'll probably want to talk. But Garrison Tally will probably be like, I have nothing to say.
There were other kids in the same
You know,
boat,
that's
right?
fine.
At least you weren't alone.
Person by person.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out.
Ooh.
We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform, and Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
You were all teenagers. I'm sure you found other ways to occupy the time.
I'm not the sort who does that kind of thing, Commander. Not lightly, anyway.
Oh?
There was a girl I spent a lot of time with. We kept her close on. Rana. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich.
Interesting.
But she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful. But not stuck up about it.
Rare combination.
Liked her.
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same. But things never felt together. Training, you know.
Yeah.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen.
Right, because they're going to do everything they can to cover that shit up.
It was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything Kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
Yeah.
Jump Zero's a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. That's my own baggage, Commander. No bearing on this.
Alenko, there's no regulation that says you can't be friends with your commander.
That's true.
I appreciate that, Commander. I just don't want you to think that I'm a whiner. I got my past squared away.
Okay, Caden. Cool. Nothing to click on in there. Looks like the only other dot up here is Chakwas. She probably won't have anything to say, but we're going to check anyway.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Nope.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Oh, Liara. We've never talked to her, so she'll have things to say. Because we just got her. Greetings.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm
Yeah.
glad we got there in time.
so am I.
I mean, I don't think they would have been able to pierce that
I
barrier.
know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship.
But it's also true that you
I've
can't
seen
stay
the
in
way
there
your crew
forever.
looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
Of
None
course.
of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her. And this was not like her. Something changed.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek
Yeah.
to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Such as?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals.
Mm.
My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still
Yeah.
require a partner
I mean,
to reproduce.
They're all
This
girls by human
parent,
standards.
however, may be of any species and any gender.
That's gross!
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Indeed.
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our
It's like,
physiology
my
allows us
mind
to
connects to
connect with
your
other
mind,
beings. We can touch
and then I
and
get
taste.
pregnant.
We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind.
Yeah.
We have
Basically just the
a
Krogan.
philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
You don't know who?
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common. not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the
Which is
fathers.
weird, because before you were a spacefaring race, you obviously would have just
Nothing has
been Asari with
or
Asari.
so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face, it is a great insult among my people. It is possible Venezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Maybe. But also
she
maybe
wanted to
not.
meet you, but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Venezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
Yeah. Benezia Asari culture. I did.
Do you know why Venezia joined up with
I don't
Saren?
understand. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander. I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting.
I'll be the judge of
I
that.
spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers. But I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau. I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As
Yeah,
for
that makes sense
solitude,
though, because otherwise
that
you
is
wouldn't
one
really be
aspect
here.
that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
You
Oh?
don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Venezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Venezia.
A little bit, but it's also more complicated than that.
All children rebel against their parents. It's a natural part of growing up.
Aha, you share the wisdom of the matriarch, Shepard. That is exactly what Venezia said when I told her of my decision. But there was more to it than that. I felt drawn to the past. The Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious figures. I wanted to know everything about them. That is why I find you so fascinating. You were marked by the beacon on Eden Prime. You were touched by working Prothean technology.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in the lab somewhere.
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard.
It's
I
fine.
only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study.
You're not helping,
That's even worse.
Liara.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool.
Maybe a little bit.
Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
Okay.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Bye-bye. Okay, now we need to go downstairs for, Ashley and our spiky alien boys. Oh, and I guess Callie's down there, too. Alright.
Commander, you have a minute to talk.
Sure.
I keep an open door policy. If you have any concerns, lay them on me.
All right. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander.
But you don't have a problem with Tally
Full access
or
to the
Liara?
ship.
They may not serve the Alliance, Chief, but they're allies. At least as far as Saren goes.
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.
You don't trust the Alliance's allies?
I'm not sure I'd call the Council races allies.
What?
We, humanity, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
Standing up for ourselves doesn't mean standing alone.
Exactly.
I don't think we should turn down allies. I just think we shouldn't bet everything on them staying allies. As
I guess that
Nolan
makes
and the
sense.
Council members say now, if their backs are against the wall, they'll abandon us.
No.
You've got a pessimistic view of the universe, Williams.
A pessimist is what an optimist calls a realist.
Yeah.
If you're fighting a bear,
Ain't that the
only way
fucking
you survive
truth.
is to sick your dog on it and run. You'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human. It's
Yeah.
not racism, not really. Members of their species will always be more important to them than humans are.
That's true.
You seem like deeply held beliefs, Williams. What made you think this way?
My family's defended the Alliance since it was founded. My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
It doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, sir. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation on a space station for training. Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
That's odd. Your record is spotless and your technical scores are exemplary. You should be serving with the fleet.
Anyway, that's why I haven't served with many aliens, Commander.
She's like, I'm gonna dodge that shit.
Grew up an orphan on Earth. Anybody in your family I'd have heard of?
Couldn't say, Commander. So why are you out here? Just trying to get away from Earth?
No. The future of humanity is out here. There's so much we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I still remember my first field exercise on Titan. When we hit mud, the reality hit me. I'm the first person who ever stood here. Then my drill instructor kicked me in the ass. I went face first into the mud. He spent the next 5 minutes chewing me out for gold breaking.
Don't tell me you had Gunny Ellison. He's the only one I know who uses that word to describe shirking duty.
Oh, Lord. You went to the Makapog boot camp, too? Yeah. Gunny Ellison's still reaming out recruits down there. Kids using words like inveigle and pusillanimous.
All right. I can see where your concerns are coming from, Williams. But this is a multilateral mission. You're going to have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. You
Good.
tell me to kiss a Turian, I'll ask which cheek.
Would you kiss anyone I ordered you to?
That depends, sir. If you ordered me to kiss a superior officer, that would be a violation of the regs concerning fraternization. In an illegal order, I'd be required to decline and relieve you of command. Sir.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
You're a fucking
Sure,
goober,
I lied Dr.
Ashley.
Sony's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
I think she's being straight with us. Or at least, I don't think she lies very often.
Yeah, she's probably really bad at it.
Right?
Hey, want me to ask her about her sex life? Might be illuminating.
I don't think she's used to teasing. Good-natured or otherwise.
Yeah.
No fun, Commander. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I'd buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking.
Oh, that's literally the same thing I just clicked.
I think she's being straight with us.
Hey, want me to ask her about her sex? Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they
See you
lasted
later,
thousands of
Ash.
years.
We'll talk later, Williams.
Looking forward to it, sir.
Hey, Rex.
So, we've got Saren on the run.
I mean, for now,
It won't be long now. Saren's good, but I'm better.
we're better.
Good. He's run to the core. I could tell as soon as I met him.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner?
I would have if I thought I was important.
I think I'd like to hear about it just the same.
This was a while ago. A bunch of mercs were bragging about a job out near the edges of the Terminus systems. They said it paid well and the boss was never around to ride them.
Nice.
They said he was looking for more men, too. So I checked it out.
I didn't know Saren was openly recruiting mercs.
It wasn't that open, and he only showed his face once. We'd been raiding ships in the area for months when we took out this massive cargo freighter. Our biggest haul yet. I was on board checking bodies for valuables, looking for some extra credits. That's when I saw him.
What did Saren want with the ship?
I don't know what he wanted. He was just moving through the ship, watching. A couple of the mercs called him by name, but he never spoke to them. Never spoke to anyone.
Then why was he even there?
I had a really bad feeling about him, so I got the hell out. Didn't even wait to get paid.
Interesting.
What kind of cargo was the freighter carrying? What was Saren after?
I don't know. All I saw on that ship was food and medical supplies. There were some basic weapons, but nothing big. If there was anything of value on that ship, I didn't see it. That's why I didn't mention it sooner.
Okay.
Whose ship was it?
There was a Volus trading vessel.
Oh.
Big one. Lots of guards. But they were no match for us.
Was it like Volus guards? Or did they hire like freelancers?
That's the only time you saw him?
Yeah. Didn't even know who he was. Still wouldn't if I hadn't joined up with you. But my instincts were right.
Yeah.
Every other merc on that mission.
You got good instincts, Rex.
Every damn one.
Extinction, genophage, okay.
So long, Rex.
Garrus.
Commander, how are you? Why did you want to be a CSEC officer in the first place?
It's a good question. There were several reasons, I guess.
Like what?
Probably the same as most officers. I wanted to fight injustice, wanted to help people.
Yeah.
My father had something to do with it too. He was seasick, one of the best.
Oh?
I grew up hearing about his accomplishments or seeing his picture on the vids after a big arrest. He's taking my resignation pretty hard.
Yeah.
That's tough. But you'd think he'd be impressed you're going after Sarah.
My father's a seasick man to the bone.
Do things by the book,
Right,
yeah.
Don't do them at all, he says. Thinks I'm being too rash, too impatient. He's worried I'll become just like Sarah. He actually taught me how to becoming a Spectre when I was younger, for the same reasons.
You were asked to be a Spectre?
Well, I was targeted as a possible Spectre candidate.
Right, like Anderson.
1,000 other Turian military recruits. I could have received special training, but my father didn't like it.
Oh?
He despises the Spectres.
Right,
He
'cause
hates the idea
no
of someone
rules,
having
off the
unlimited
books.
power, no accountability. He wouldn't like you, Commander. No offense.
I suppose I can understand his concern.
You can.
Yeah.
Saren's not going to play by our rules, CSEC's rules. If you want to nail Saren, you need to send someone who isn't restricted by policies and procedures.
I mean... No, that actually kind of is
You're a
true.
quick learner, Garrus. We'll beat him at his own
In this
game.
case, that
It's
is
the only way to
true.
stop someone like him.
I'm right behind you, Commander.
No, because it's interesting, because it's one of those things where, like... the last time I talked to Garrus, the options were either agree with him or argue. And I disagreed with him, so I argued. But this time, I agreed. There would have been more conversation if I had argued, but in this case I agreed with him, so that's that. I doubt you have anything
Something I
new.
can do for you, Commander.
Nope.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Tally?
Oh, hello, Shepard.
What's wrong?
Are you okay?
I don't know. Your ship is amazing, and your crew's been really great to me, especially your chief engineer. But I just sort of feel out of place. The Normandy runs so smooth, it feels like we're not even moving.
Yeah.
And the engines are so quiet. How do you sleep at night?
The silence wakes you up?
Back
She's
on the
used to the white
Flotilla,
noise.
The last thing you want to hear is silence. It means an engine's died or an air filter shut down.
Right.
I guess you don't have to worry about that here. But old habits die hard. But it's
There's
more
still
than
risks, they're just-
silence.
it's just
This
different
ship feels
risks.
so empty. It's like half the crew is missing. Back home, I couldn't wait to go on my pilgrimage. I couldn't wait to get away from the crowds.
But now it feels desolate.
Kind of miss them.
Sometimes we don't appreciate what we have when it's gone.
That's true. I'm starting to wonder if that's what the pilgrimage is really about. It's given me a whole new perspective on my people and our culture. You know, there's always a few who go on their pilgrimages and never return.
Yeah.
I always assumed something bad happened to them. But maybe they just wanted a different life.
Exactly. It's just like it's literally just like with the Amish, because like most of them end up coming back and returning to the Amish culture, but there's also some that enjoy a life full of restrictions, a life without restrictions enough that they don't. And it's also true that and it's also why, at least based off of my actual hands-on experience with it, is relatively limited, but that's also why usually the ones that don't come back, they kind of go hard.
You do plan to return to the migrant.
Because the more sheltered you are, the more interested you're going to be
abandon
in
my people, Shepard. I will go back eventually.
doing the things that you weren't
But
supposed to
we have
do.
stop Shannon first. Otherwise, I might not have a home to go back to.
And Quarian's Geth Pilgrimage.
I should go.
See you later.
Indeed. Alright, we talked everybody on the ship. It's not going to be like that every time. That like because everyone had something to say that time. Like after the next mission, it's probably just going to be like the only person with something to say will be like Joker and Rex, probably or something like that. All right, so shit. Not square, circle. Not exit, zoom out. Because I'm thinking like exit as in exit the planet, but it actually means exit as in exit the galaxy map. We can't go to the local cluster yet because it's in this little area. Alright, I guess we will go to Pharos. Sonic?
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Oh?
Commander Shepard.
Oh, okay.
My name is Nasana Dantius. I have a job for you. I
Nasana?
can't say anymore in an unsecured communication.
No, it's a side mission.
If you're interested in hearing my offer, meet me on the Citadel so we can talk in person. I'll be waiting in the Diplomat's Lounge on the Presidium.
Okay. Cool. Wait. Really? The entire population of the colony is just 300 people? That's incredibly low. Like, I'm surprised that that's enough for it to even be considered a colony and not just, like, an outpost on a alien world. Also, in addition to that, like, that also means that Exogeny must really not have that many employees because, well, if the entire population of the colony is 300, that would have to be less than that for... Interesting. Cool. Well, we're going to end this part here, and next time, we'll be heading to Theros.